Well, I didn't get very far with the Jackie Lawson one today because it just kept jamming. I don't know if it's me or any of you who've bought that link and you're having the same problem, but I could not get the wreath to work. I couldn't get to make a wreath, but never mind, I've got my own wreath on my door, so I'm quite pleased with that. Anyway, we'll go on to the next bit. So, this is day 13, the riddle of the suffragette. It was growing dark outside and temperatures had dropped significantly. At 221B Baker Street, a fire was burning in the hearth and dear Mrs. Hudson had set the table for tea, with a plate of her famous almond biscuits. I wouldn't mind a bit more of this sort of thing, I sighed, but Holmes grinned. If things were as quiet as this every day, we might as well... He was interrupted by the doorbell. It was as if someone wanted to remind us that there was no hope of peace and quiet for the likes of us. A moment later, Lestrade's voice could be heard down the hall. He sounded cross. "Afternoon tea?" We heard Lestrade snort as he approached the door. "Would you bring me a cup of tea too, please? And some biscuits?" He marched into the room, throwing another, now familiar-looking letter onto the table. "It's a pleasure," he said, as Holmes signalled it to him to take a seat before he opened the letter. The letter read, "That niece of yours, Sophie, is growing more intolerable by the day. Yesterday she insisted that women are at least as clever as men are, and as if it weren't enough, she then seemed to suggest they are in fact even more clever. Moreover, as if she's in league with the devil himself, she set me a riddle, which is impossible to solve. She has gone too far this time. I don't care if she is the daughter of a suffragette. Her pride will be her downfall. If your distinguished brains are as incapable of solving this riddle as mine are, she'll have caused her own death with her brassiness. Rope, poison, axe, firearm are all ready and waiting. I just haven't made up my mind which one to use yet. Oh, and I would gladly be rid of the bad-tempered shrew right away. However, I am a gentleman after all, so I'll give her a chance. Here is your riddle." And the riddle said, "Face to face, one side of me, illuminated for you to see. Without that light, I disappear. You cannot find me, though I'm still here." Now then, that's interesting. Holmes has to find out what she's talking about. And it's signed Colonel Sebastian Moran. I'll read that again. "Face to face, one side of me, illuminated for you to see. Without that light, I disappear. You cannot find me, though I'm still here." I wonder what that means. We'll find out at the end. It's 3.8 degrees. Oh, it's just popped up 2.2 of a degree. It's still flipping cold though. Well, there's the 13B and there's the 13A. We're putting the Christmas tree up. Hey! Who's this? Hello? Hello, sweetie. Let's get that sleep out your eye. She doesn't like me doing this, but you've got to get the sleep out your eye. There. Did I get it out? No. Yes. Hello, Slitty. Have you been sleeping all the time? Hey, have you been sleeping? Oh, yes you have. You don't give me much chance to clean that cushion, do you? Because you never move from it very often. No, as soon as she jumps off, then I try to clean it, but within minutes, it's covered in hair again, isn't it, sweetie? Yes. Oh, she says, get off. So, one Christmas tree. Now, where does the Christmas tree go? Let's put it in there. One Christmas tree in there. I'm not sure where it's meant to go, but we'll just put it over there for the moment. Good morning, come afternoon. It's actually what time? Oh, it's 6 minutes past midday. So, yes, it's, can I take you out? Will that take you back further? Right, 6 minutes past midday. His lordship's gone back down to Leeds to see his daughter again, and I am up here getting my orders out, and it is cold. I've got my heater on in my little shed, but it's cold, and I'm going to make myself a cup of coffee. I say coffee, but it's really tea. Making a cup of tea for myself, and then I'm going to get on with my work again. I want to get this vlog up, listed as soon as possible. My cough is getting better. Cough is on the mend, and we've sussed out two things. I think that it's because I talk too much, and I also think, as I was saying to his lordship, because my voice has gone down lower, I think it's rattling my vocal cords, and so when I talk a bit louder, a bit higher like that, it doesn't hurt me as much. So I think maybe I ought to talk like this all the time. I think I've probably damaged my vocal cords or something, and that's why it sounds more throaty. Said she, coughing. Anyway, going to make the mess on here is his lordship constantly bringing stuff back from his mother's, and as fast as we keep clearing that, he keeps bringing stuff back. He's not just gone down to see his mother, but see his daughter, but he's also gone down to carry on clearing the house. Well, she's been in the home since May, and we're still sorting the house out. And she is, I think we're hoping to get John, our friend, to put a new kitchen in January. He says he's too busy at the moment because he's been doing his daughter's, I think he's been doing his daughter's bathroom and then another daughter's bedroom, putting fitted wardrobes in. So he's going to do it in January, hopefully, fingers crossed. As long as it's done in January, it'll be fine, because after that, I think they're off to Australia for about 3 months. Once we get the house, it needs decorating, so we've got to get that sorted, and then we're going to rent it because Mum has lots of fees to pay. She pays half of them up front, the council pays the other half, and when she dies, then it has to come off her what money she has, and part of it will be we'll have to sell a flat. A flat is like a mini apartment, it's not a very big place, and so we'll have to sell that. But we figured that if we got it smartened up and then rented it out, then we'll have some income coming for her, which will set back, you know, against her fees. So that's what we're thinking anyway. But this house has been empty since May, and we really need to get our fingers pulled out, because better to be receiving the rent than having it just sitting there doing nothing. So that was what we're planning. He, as I say, he's gone down to attend to that and see his daughter as well, chivvy her up a bit. I've also found out John and Barbara gave me a big jar of pickled beetroot, which I love. But every time I taste it, it's in vinegar, I start coughing like mad. And on the night of the football, the England against France game, I went and dived into there, and as I was coughing and coughing and coughing and coughing and coughing, I couldn't speak because I was coughing, and it's the vinegar. The vinegar was affecting me, so I'm reluctant to have any more because it just makes me cough. Anyway, I've got my cup of tea. I'm going to toddle off into my workroom. I got up from my chair yesterday, and when we were about to head to bed, and I looked down at the side of the chair and I saw something red. And I said, what's that? And then I saw it was a letter. And I said to his lordship, where's that come from and when did it come? And he said, oh, it came the other day and I put it on your chair. So I said, oh, thank you. It was actually going under the chair, so had I not looked, I might not have seen it. And it's a letter from Lorianne. Lorianne, who's currently on a back-to-back cruise round the Arab states and Africa, I think. And I think her first cruise finishes on the 23rd, and then she goes back, continuing on to another one that takes her through to the new year. But look at this. It is a present, a card from Lorianne. Look at that. That is all machine sewn by machine. Isn't it lovely? And what she's done is she's sewn into the card and backed it with some fabric, so you can't see what it's like on the back. But even if you could, look, it's neatly done. There's no mess there. Neatly done. So isn't that lovely? She's used her snowman fabric for that, and she's just sent a nice little message. Hi, Michou and Brian. Here's wishing you Christmas blessings and much love from Oregon. Big hugs, Lorianne and Larry Payne. Now, they're not in Oregon at the moment, but that is absolutely lovely, Lorianne. Whether you get a card from me, it's not because I don't want to send you one, it's I keep forgetting. And by the time I remember, oh, she also includes a lovely letter telling me about her travels. But she was saying, in her comments, she went, those of you who know Lorianne, she did a tour of the UK, a massive, what I would call a massive tour of the UK, visiting all her YouTubers. And bless him, I bet Larry was fed up. I bet he was, because in the letter she says, next time he says I can go on my own. I think it takes a strong man to go around every YouTuber you like and have to talk about sewing and fabrics. So I really commiserate with you, Larry. I would hate to drag his lordship around. I would hate to drag his lordship around there. But, you know, all power to his elbow. Larry did it. He's done it twice in the UK. And that last one was a mammoth one that you were doing. I didn't get to see you because we were visiting our daughter, and we were on, I can't remember, we were going somewhere. We were expecting to go to France. We never got there, but we were seeing my daughter, so missed catching up with her. Yes, so anyway, I'm going to take this cup of tea and go into my workroom, my fortress of solitude. The problem that I have with selling these plates on eBay at this time of the year is with the Royal Mail being on strike, a lot of them aren't getting their stuff in time. And they're saying, it hasn't arrived, what am I going to do, what am I going to do? And the annoying thing is that it's not my fault. I've posted it on time, the Royal Mail hasn't delivered. I've sent them first class. They should have got there within at least 1 or 2 days. In some cases we're waiting a week or a fortnight. So I am obliged to send another one, and if they don't get it, they can contact eBay, and eBay refunds them their money and then takes money back off me. So I really feel for all those small business people who are trying to make a living, and because of the strike they are going to have a miserable Christmas. I've lost out quite a few here because I'm being kind. I'm saying, look, I'll redo the plate, I won't charge you, but I'll charge you for the postage. And you know, I've just sent another one off yesterday, rushed to get it done, sent it off to her, and she just messaged back to say it's come, but they've blent it in the plate, they've blent it in the letterbox. So obviously I've got to do another one. This is the third one, and I'm, you know, I'm feeling obliged to go and send it and pay for the postage. So I'm not best happy, and I'm feeling like closing my shop now until after Christmas, after New Year. Otherwise, I'm just going to be spending my time constantly redoing plates and losing out by it, because eBay will just take the money off me if they say that they haven't got it. And if they do get it, they'll not tell eBay, and so they've got everything for free. So that is really bugging me a bit. So I think once I've got these plates off, that's it. I'm closing my shop. Nobody will be able to buy until the new year, until 2023. Let's hope it's a better year. And we are on to number 13, which is, where's number 13? Number 13 is in the top there. Number 13. Let's open that. And number 13 is a little boy who is playing a violin again. As you know, in those days they all played violins and harpsichords and things. And what's the music? Let's see if I can get it to go. And I'm sure we all know that that was Away in a Manger. It was flipping hard trying to press that button to make it work though. I've got a job to finish, so I'll get back to you in a minute. Well, remember the riddle? The riddle was, face to face, one side of me, illuminated for you to see. Without that light I disappear. You cannot find me, though I'm still here. Moran couldn't solve it, could Sherlock? Ah, little Sophie, Holmes said as he put down the letter. It's high time we freed you from the clutches of your uncouth captor. We'd like you to come for tea and entertain us with your clever mind. That's a lot of nonsense, Holmes, Lestrade scolded. Your niece is putting her life in jeopardy and keeping the whole of Scotland Yard on its toes. And all you can do is admire her brains. Face-to-face illumination, what's that all about anyway? Lestrade crunched his way through 2 almond biscuits at once. I don't think Sophie should be provoking that dangerous man either, I said, voicing my fears that something would happen to her, especially as this problem really is impossible to solve. But Holmes continued to sip his tea calmly. Our Sophie is a romantic, exactly the opposite of you 2 gentlemen, I might add. He smiled knowingly. Well, this is a fine moment for romance, Holmes, Lestrade scoffed. I, for one, don't want to end up fishing for bits of your niece in the Thames. What shines without any light on its own? Holmes asked and looked at us both. I'll tell you, it's the moon. If the sun didn't light it up, we wouldn't see it in the sky. Let's call the Times immediately. Sophie has gained more time to plague that kidnapper of hers. There now, the moon! I never thought of that. I was thinking of a candle in front of a mirror. Would that make a difference if you take, because something like if you take a candle away, if you put a candle in front, you can then you can't see it. But there you go, it was the moon. Can't be seen if the sun went away, can it? So I'm going to love you and I'm going to leave you, and I'll catch you, fingers crossed, tomorrow, which will be Wednesday the 14th, my son's birthday. I haven't posted him a card, but I did. I should have posted it the other day, and I thought, oh, he's never going to get it with this Royal Mail strike. So I figured I immediately went online and bought his wife, because it was their wedding anniversary as well. I bought them both a bouquet of flowers, a bottle of a bottle of Prosecco, and a box of chocolates. And I ordered that on the Saturday morning, and it was delivered an hour later. Can't get that with the Royal Mail, I'm afraid. It did cost me more, but it was worth every penny. They were thrilled to bits. So I shall see you tomorrow, the 14th of December. Until then, I'm going to love you and leave you. Bye!